there are three things that are going to happen that are going to be very challenging for us. And one of these is interventions that essentially change aspects of our biology, meaning changing the way we, for instance, aging would be an aspect of that, where we make shifts that actually alter us as biological creatures. And the second of these, I think, would be the way that we affect the workings of our brains, in that we basically use cocktails of drugs to create various emotional states that are very desirable for us from the point of view of individuals, but that happen very, very quickly and easily, and therefore will be very difficult. An example of that is sugar. I mean, it's worthwhile for us to go and put a little bit of extra energy into getting fruit that's ripe and to do that. And that historically would be a very useful thing to do. But we're not built to be living in a pastry shop. And so people spend enormous amounts of energy trying to avoid partaking of all of the pastries and such that are around us. And obesity is a real problem. So that's kind of a near-term example of the kinds of things that we'll be able to do in much, much deeper ways as we move forward. And another aspect, I think, is reproduction, where people are, as we become aware of sort of the combinations of genes and the constellations of the genetic constellations that contribute to the nature and the personalities and the potentials and the vulnerabilities of our offspring, we're going to want to intervene and make choices about the genetics of our future children. So those are three things, I think, that are going to have an impact on the future of medicine and our own futures in a very real way. I think that one of the biggest changes that is going to occur with technology is that we're going to get access individually to masses of information about our individual conditions, and the possibility comes of sort of personalizing both our behaviors, the medications that we take, and all of these things are going to be are going to be available directly to individuals, increasingly so. And so if 10,000 patients with a particular condition are interacting and comparing notes about what drugs they're taking, about what they're doing, they're going to know, because they're absolutely obsessed with their diseases, of course, or at least many of them are. They're going to know more than a physician can possibly know about that particular disease, because a physician has many, many diseases to look at. So there may be some specialists, but generally they don't have the same level of commitment to that particular condition. And so people will increasingly be able to go around doctors, will be increasingly informed about their own situations, and I think that will dramatically alter the relationship that exists between patients and their physicians. And in addition, I think just the sheer volume of information that we're dealing with is going to be beyond the capacity of any individual, no matter how brilliant, to process. And so we're going to increasingly be looking at computational assistance in terms of diagnostics, in terms of treatments, in terms of setting up the drug regimes that people take. Increasingly, there is going to be access to this sort of cyber presence that is broadly distributed and represents kind of a repository and a processing of information that is of large numbers of individuals. So it's sort of the knowledge about ourselves that's going to, I think, belong to all humans.